panel of the day. On your programs it says Airship Vindus panel. That's who we are. But what we're going to talk about today is what we call Steampunk everything. So we're going to have a very, very short introduction to Steampunk, because most of you already know basically what it is. And then we're going to go into lots of details about Steampunk and what inspired us to do Steampunk, where our characters come from, how we put together our costumes, some of the films that we do for Steampunk, and then we can start going into a much broader range of topics. And we're very interested in you guys asking questions and finding out what it is that you want to know about Steampunk or about us specifically. Just to give you a brief rundown of Airship Vindus, we began in 2012 with a small group of us, and it quickly became larger and larger. And in the end of 2012, we put out a short film called Doomsday, which captured the attention of Old Cowtown Museum, and they invited us to come out to their Steampunk Day in 2013 and also do film. And we ended up filming here, and then we filmed a whole bunch more stuff. It's all on YouTube now, and we're working on a couple of new projects here and there. But that's essentially what our group is. My name is Ben. I play the character Judge, who is a monster hunter, and I am the director of the web series and of several of our media projects that we do. And we're going to continue on with more introductions, and we'll start on that end.
I'm Christine. I play Beatrice in the series. It's a fairly new character, so if you've watched the series, you haven't really seen it yet. Otherwise, I am in there a couple times as an extra.
Hi, I'm Joshin. I play Lady Jade Summers. I do a lot of the photography, videography, video editing for the group. My character is a wealthy version of me and basically runs the Airship Vindus.
My name's Joe. If you're anybody else, Dr. Middle Rex. Go up wherever you like. I play a Bolt on series. I'm a bandit king. And when I'm not in front of the camera, I'm either a gopher or impromptu stunt coordinator. So, or punching bag, as the case may be.
Our favorite is punching bag.
My name is Billy. We're called Billy. The character I play is Murdoch here, sometimes traveling in California. I'm kind of just the hands, and I help out with the tools. And I'm more of an emotional punching bag team.
We don't make fun of you that much.
Only on long trips.
It's okay, Billy. You know we love you.
She'll go.
Shut up.
I'm Marcy. I play Marshall in musical Cowtown. I'm
Can they see the jump volume?
Stand up.
I don't know. Hello. Is
Yeah,
this
there you
loud
go.
enough?
Yeah, okay.
You guys see her or is my claw in the way?
Yes.
Okay. I am Marcy. I play Marcel in musical Cowtown. And I'm not in too many of the actual episodes. I was in a special episode that we filmed for Aurelian 2 years ago. And I'm in a lot of convention videos and photos. Yeah.
Yeah.
My name's Charlie, and I'm a glutton for punishment.
Hi, Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
I'm actually not a part of Vindus. They're really good friends of mine. We'll be collaborating here shortly. But I'm the other half of Children of Proteus. Not the makeup person. That's Lady Blue Hair. You guys have seen her before. Her name's Kate. Hello, Blue Hair. Not the point.
You do steampunk fish.
We do steampunk fish.
That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, I've heard it called aquapunk, but all these things are just labels, really.
Merpunk.
I do this for me, but it's just fun, and I like building things.
Good segue.
Oh,
We got one.
I'm Brian Swearingen, and I am the head of the Sky Marshals. Been in a couple of episodes. Try writing.
So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to basically, I don't want to say define steampunk, but we're going to describe steampunk. If you've ever listened to a guy named Lord Bobbins, who runs TeslaCon up in Wisconsin, he's quoted as saying, steampunk is the only self-made fandom. The fans are the ones who created it. It wasn't created by some person that put it through mainstream, and then there were books about it, and it became sort of the code for steampunk, like Star Wars. George Lucas was behind Star Wars, and there is a particular code that goes to costuming and being in something Star Wars. It's not like that with steampunk. It was created by the fans, and so it's much more open to interpretation. But it is generally agreed, that steampunk is a Victorian period science fiction genre. So anytime from about 1860 to about 1910, anywhere in the world, about that historical period, and then adding in something else. And it can be science fiction, but I myself add sort of fantasy and Wild West into it for my Monster Hunter. I'm not a whole lot of sci-fi, a lot more fantasy and horror. So there's much bigger interpretation there. And so if any of my other team members want to kind of throw out their, what they would call their definition of steampunk or their description of it, go ahead and throw it out there.
Well, for me, steampunk would be like if the future happened sooner, or think like futuristic properties in the past. I have to talk louder so you guys can hear me.
There you go.
There you are.
Yeah. If the future happened sooner, futuristic properties in the past, like think of Abraham Lincoln with a laser gun. That's one version of it.
That sounds badass.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, we kind of do that.
Does anybody else want to throw out their description of steampunk? What do you think of when you think of steampunk?
Yeah, you know what? I got one.
Okay,
I got one.
go for it, Charlie.
All right, so. Don't assume I know what I'm saying. Wait, what?
You're just,
So, yeah.
okay.
I'm back
You're on it.
I never even told you. So, my whole thing about steampunk is that the only real law to it is that it involves steam, right? Steam of some kind, shape or form. But that's only because it's in the freaking name, right? But even that isn't a rule. But you got all these different movies that Hellboy, freaking Sherlock Holmes, the new one, the one with Robert Downey Jr. Those are all steampunk universes, but they're so underlying in that theme that you'll miss it if you aren't looking. All right, so you can go as weird as you want to be, or you can go as casual as you want to be. Cowboys, are they steampunk or not?
depends on what they
Exist
carry.
in that time period?
They existed in that time period. Do they need a steam-powered gun in order to be a steampunk cowboy, or can they just?
No, but it looks really cool.
It does look cool.
Yeah. Steampunk is powered by the rule of cool. Does it look cool? Fine. Do it. Glue some gears on it. Call it steampunk.
It's quite literally the only cosplay that I can think of that you can make your costume out of literal garbage and have it look cool.
Exhibit A.
Exhibit A.
You said yourself. No, that was not meant to be an insult. You said yourself.
You know, when Charlie kills you, I'm gonna come get it. So.
That's what you project when you insult her.
You do have broken Barbie doll arms on her.
No,
Legs.
They're
Barbie doll legs.
gone.
They're gone.
I removed them.
You got rid of this Barbie doll legs.
Well, it's so humid, the paint was running off in my head. I didn't want to get paint on.
But this man ripped Barbie legs off of dolls
In
and
order to
used
make
them in his
progress.
costume.
And it was convincing. I didn't know they were Barbie legs until he said something.
Yep.
But to add to that, steampunk is very creative. It encourages you to be imaginative and to think of something unique or original, and to use materials or pieces in ways that maybe nobody else has ever thought to do.
There are a lot of jetpacks out there that are made out of soda bottles and salsa bowls. Yeah. You just glue salsa bowls on top of soda bottles and jetpack.
The jetpack I built was out of a vacuum chassis.
Nice.
Got part of a door handle on the back of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one?
The part down the center,
Yeah.
the metal side.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
interesting. Okay.
Right, but you guys wouldn't have known that until I told you.
Yep.
Oh,
I didn't look.
So, garage sales, estate sales. It turns out that dead people have a lot of cool stuff.
Thrift stores.
Auctions.
And just because steampunk encourages you to be a maker, you don't have to be a maker. You know, you can support other artists and sort of assemble yourself a costume as well. In fact, one of the first tips that we give, and a great story from Rex on his first steampunk costume.
Oh, yeah.
Your thrift store run.
That was
It wasn't even a thrift store run.
That was a closet run. we got the short. I got short notice from Josh and hey, here in a couple hours we're gonna go downtown for this thing called First Fridays. We're going down Steampunk Outputs. Get some stuff. I'm like, I don't even know. And she's like, it's this. Anyway, find something. I'm like, okay. So it's me digging through my closet, and these are a holdover from the original costume I made because I grabbed the rubber tie-down things you use for like cars and four-wheelers to hold stuff on there. Some of those and wrapped, bungee cords, but rubber versions, wrapped around the legs so that it looked like some sort of decoration. Threw on pants, a sleeveless shirt, top hat, aviators,
Belts
and
everywhere.
so many belts.
Belts.
It's like belt.
Belts on his hat.
And came out and was like, good.
Yeah.
It's like this.
Yeah, he showed up and he was like, steampunk? And I'm like, steampunk.
I was a pile of belts.
Yeah.
It was a good life.
But the fun thing about steampunk is that a lot of it already exists in your closet. If you've got nice formal wear, then you've got a very good base that you can start from. Vests, nice shirts, slacks, boots. Go through your closet, see what you find, and then pile on the accessories. You can never over accessorize in steampunk.
Do I need to have a suit?
We can get you a huge.
We can make you a formal grab.
And by the way, everybody, the lady over there taking the pictures, that's Layla. She's also part of our crew. She just came in a little late.
Yeah!
Yeah! Woo!
Okay, man. We need big, oblong, square styrofoam.
Why? Why?
Painted yellow.
Uh-huh.
We're chasing Spitfire.
You know, that would have been absolutely hilarious if I hadn't heard that joke 40 times.
What are you doing?
Is that like a one lobster joke people have?
Butter?
Well, we can grab a giant rubber band.
To be fair, I have not been working on my lobster jokes much.
I need
Yeah,
you guys
sorry,
to be a
yeah.
little bit more punny.
What I'd like to do next is we're gonna anybody that wants to jump in on this, but what inspired you to do steampunk? Where does your inspiration come from to build your costume or character or whatever it is that you like to do in steampunk?
Well, you just told your origin story.
Yeah, mine was a bunch of people coming up to me and going, "Put together a costume."
And then we want to do something different.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And by the way, if you have a question at any time, just throw it up there, and we will like jump topics instantly because we're very interested in what you want to know
Yes.
about steampunk as much as we like talking. We like answering it.
Yeah. Then I think later than that, it was just a, "You want me on camera? Yeah, I like being on camera. Cool. And find a costume." And thus it began.
And thus it was born.
Well, I guess my origin story is a bunch of us volunteered for a pirate festival in Missouri. They decided to do a steampunk day. We decided to put together some costumes, and then we liked hanging out, so we started hanging out. It's not very exciting, but that's
It was exciting for us.
oh,
You got new friends.
yeah.
I met you.
Fine, it's not that important to you.
I met you and didn't know you.
That's very true. Yeah.
With me, it was, I'd seen everyone else at the time doing pirates and mercenaries, but nobody was doing lawmen, so I'm like, there's a vacuum! And so I came up with the bright idea. The badge actually was an evolution. The first one was a star with a gear around it. That was it. That was as imaginative as I could get. And then a local con needed a jailer, so we built a jail. Well, hey, we're lawmen, we'll do that. And it just part of the fun steamrolled into this.
That's the big thing with anything creative. I mean, pick a fandom, pick a creative thing to do. If you like to write books, the book kind of writes itself after a certain. It just takes off. Any sort of imagination, like this whole aquapunk thing that's going on. The girlfriend absolutely loves fish. and we were going to a steampunk convention. So we just threw those two things together, and we were both working on separate projects at the same time.
Which looked awesome.
Yeah, thank you. So she ended up going with 1800s London, but I'm a Midwesterner at heart, so I went with like cowboy, and not this one, obviously. The other one, blue fish. You guys know what I'm talking about. Regardless, it didn't even match up with the theme kind of. But you can literally take anything. Really, it's kind of the point. You like Scooby-Doo? Make us a steampunk Scooby-Doo. You like the little Twinkie guy from those commercials, the Twinkie cowboy guy? I would love to see a steampunk Twinkie cowboy guy. There's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
There's
There really
no
is.
wrong answer.
It's rule 1899. If it exists, there's a steampunk version of it.
The biggest rule is to have fun doing it.
Yeah.
Where did you
Yeah,
find
my-
that?
Huh?
Where did you find that?
It's an internet rule.
My character came from, I used to do tabletop role-playing games like, D&D kind of stuff, but it wasn't D&D. It was something called Hunter the Reckoning, but it was about Monster Hunter. And this is actually my second steampunk concept. And whenever we were going to do that little pirate festival in the middle of Missouri, I thought, what would my Monster Hunter look like if he were steampunk? And my mind immediately went to, oh, he'd be a total outback Western dude. And at that time, it was 2011, and there really wasn't a lot of cowboy steampunk stuff. Like everybody, all the guys were in top hats and vests and shirts with all these with the ascots and all this fancy stuff on their arms, and robot arms and stuff. And I looked at it and I went, it's not dirty enough, And so I thought, well, what would a monster hunter look like? Well, he's running around in the Midwest and the Southwest, just like roaming through the desert, hunting stuff down and killing it. What would that look like? Okay, well, first I need some armor, because otherwise I'll probably die. And then I just started building that concept from there, starting with what does the character do based on, not only his personality, but what does he do, and then built the costume from there. This costume started as just the vest and a gun belt and the hat. And then it slowly evolved. And something that Charlie almost touched on was once you start making it, it's going to become completely addictive, and you're just going to want to do more and more and more of it. It takes off on its own, is what he said. It's going to take a life of its own, and you're just going to want to do more. And I've evolved this costume for 3 years, and have changed it and tweaked it. So not only can I move around better in it, but I keep adding stuff. Just last weekend, we were at the Comic-Con, and I bought another trinket to hang on my costume somewhere. The costume is now over 40 pounds, which is why I'm not wearing the guns, because I need to be able to move around.
You guys want to roll through and grab one thing off our costume and then we build it for you guys?
That sounds like a cool idea.
Oh, I started. Sorry.
Yeah. Show me scabbards.
Okay.
Scabbards.
Yeah, these I created just like 2 days ago. These actually, so they're leather underneath, and that's what I normally have. This right here, I traced an outline on just like foam sheets, and I cut them out. I grabbed a bunch of string, cut it up, threw it on top, and put a mixture of water and Elmer's glue on top until it dried, and then I painted it.
What are the knives?
Oh, the knives, these are guitars. So in real life, he's my boyfriend, and he's what got me into steampunk in the first place. He bought these for me at a convention a few years ago. These are punching knives. So you pull them out, you hold them like this.
I did not build a single thing on my costume. So I'm an example of you can get into steampunk any which way you want. You are not interested in costuming or making, or if you're not interested in getting into it, there are several things you can buy your stuff. You can convince your maker friends to make stuff for you, or you can just not costume at all. You can write, you can do photos, you can do art, you can do pretty much anything having to do with steampunk. It's an aesthetic. It's not a genre.
Technically, you made your harness because you had to stand there while I rented it to your body.
Well, so this harness is 2 old belts. Well, no, it's 1 old belt and several strips of leather, and then Ben just riveted things together. And he also made this gun. It's an old toy, with like a
race car remote.
A race car remote thing. And so he painted it, and he put these designs on it with puff paint or something. Yeah, puff paint, which made these nice raised designs, and then aged it and weathered it and all this stuff.
She needed a gun, and I had
So
like a day.
so it makes friends
There you
and
go.
feed them well.
So my right hand's always the thing that I'm the most proud of, but the left arm's the one that always gets the most attention. So I'll talk about this one. Previous version of the right hand had pistons and moving parts and everything. Everyone always went to the easy one over here. I'm like, that's so cool. I'm like, so this one is literally a box butt from Michaels. Ripped the top off of the thing. An electrical switch, some rivets, a tube of glitter, moved upside down. Literally that simple. And this is some aquarium tubing with a couple of 45 shells casings. So it was the process of putting it all together and riveting these to the leather, and specifically riveting them to the box is a little bit difficult because boxes are not made for that. But I mean, this is as easy as layering it through some wood that we drilled a couple holes in, rounding it so it fit on the bracer, and calling it a day, which is kind of cool. So looks complex, has a lot of parts. Wasn't that.
We had a bunch of random stuff in the garage, and we needed to build something that looked cool.
Yep.
And that's a lot of our building stories. Like, oh look, we have a bunch of random parts. Let's make something.
Yeah.
That's like pretty cool. We're talking about things that we made. You made your thing on your head.
How did you build it?
Bed sheets that were dyed to an old,
Thing on your head.
yes, I was gonna say, most everything is just junk out of our garage, and things that we picked up at garage sales. The bed piece is made from old upholstery vinyl, belts from the thrift store, some old clock guts, and some broken toys and things like that. And just a bunch of random things that we found in the garage that had similar purpose. I'm like, this looks nice, and it seems like it should fit here. So it just kind of came together.
And then she stuck a bell on it so we could always find her. Really?
The only things I actually built were the rosary bead, and paid someone to make this. So technically, I didn't make it. She just took the pieces, and I paid her to put them together.
But you assembled your costume.
Yeah, I
And
assembled
you
it's-
designed it.
It's the look that you wanted for
I'm
a
not
character,
really sure
right?
if- I mean, what do you call these, leg harnesses?
Titles.
You got like a little doctor syringe and just treat these things, freak people out.
So he built he had a character and built from there.
And then that's the awesome thing, that even if you're not good at crafting, you can literally build your own character if you buy the stuff.
Okay, I guess it's down to me.
Good luck to you,
Marcy.
Matt, Joe, or Ben.
The only things I didn't make on this costume are the actual clothes, because making jeans just seems kind of superfluous. But all of the vest was one piece, and I added the plates and the clasps to it. The shoulders and forearms are from a motorcycle jacket that I got for a couple of bucks, and then cut it up and put it back together. All the brass is 100% real, cut by hand from brass plates and then hammered the crap out of it. And I've got a little communicator thing made from old watch parts, a glove made from an old work glove and some copper piping, and then some leather parts to hold all of my accessories and trophies and random things that I have collected over the years as sort of a spur. And I do have spurs because I'm a cowboy. Yeah.
You have also your gun belt.
Right, and then there's a gun belt that I'm not wearing at the moment that has a Colt on one side, but then I also made a gun called the hole gun because it puts big holes in things. And it was made from an old electric drill that the motor had burnt out, but it looked all 50s and really kind of cool, and it was a metal case. So I took the chuck out of it and then put a lightsaber on the end and painted it to match, and then it became the hole gun for taking down really big things.
I'm going to jump back to origins for a minute because I got it overlooked. Well, a friend
Sorry.
introduced me. Okay.
You're a robot, shouldn't have feelings.
So I was introduced to a band called Steampunk, and that kind of led to this. So this is mostly what I do on the costume. I paint this every time I wear the costume.
And she designed it.
Yeah, I started with basics from the band, like one of the characters that everyone knows who Steampunk Draft is. Nobody knows. One person, few people. Okay.
They're a band.
They're a band. They 3 automatons. They all dress like they wear makeup and sing and
Look 'em up.
robotic movements and such. So that's what this character is based off of. I bought this vest online. My mom actually added like the red trim on the bustle. This gentleman did the pieces on the back here. I've got a bolt and volume and balance knob. This is a simple umbrella from Walmart that I took the canvas off of, and that's actually a Steampunk Draft thing for some of you who should know that.
It looks like the antenna from that time travel thunder.
It's like a robot spider.
I hear that about a dog.
Now I'm freaked out by it.
I bet.
Thank you, Charlie.
What?
Said now I'm freaked out by it. Thanks, Charlie.
Thanks, I
Good
gave
spider should freak you out.
me something to smell it.
Say you're evil.
All right, well, I guess it's your turn to talk
Oh,
about
good.
it.
Oh, I know exactly what people want me to talk about. Got it. You guys want to know about the shoes, right?
I want to know everything about those shoes.
So this whole costume, and I needed to stand up. Not that I think I'm more important or have narcissism.
But he's It's right.
Stay on
Be
track.
important for a moment.
Stay on track. This whole costume was based around my idea for this claw. It's not like the A-10, where they built the plane around the gun, right? This is my gun. I had ideas for this claw forever. So how it was made is 2 gigantic blocks of styrofoam. We got a couple of long heat knives. We shaped it into a claw-type shape. And I added a bunch of electronics cables so that way it would hide my hand if I was to stick it out like that. Let's see, I think that was a drainage dish that I pulled up. Shoved in there. A bunch of different tubes, paneling, painted, all that stuff. These are real screws to give it a tad bit more authenticity, I thought.
That's the paneling is foam, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, paneling's absolute foam. And I mean, it looks neat. I don't paint. I don't do. I mean, just look at this terribly awful, almost like borderline racist makeup job that I do. I am not the makeup person. It's the other half. So she also paints things for me. She did an absolutely wonderful job on this. The coolest thing probably about this one is me and a buddy, I had to get help because I'm not as smart. We put a pulley system in here based off a leather glove. That allows me to open and close that. It's very simple. It is a triangular pulley on the inside. It's just cord wrapped around 2 pegs on the inside of the styrofoam. And I'm pulling on the string on the inside. That's all it is.
What else was a horseshoe crab on the back?
Oh, that's just garbage. No, I mean for real. Everything on the back of this literally does nothing. It's glued there for aesthetics because I thought it looked cool. It's a bunch of aquarium stuff that I got from like PetSmart or Walmart or wherever we bought it from. This whole costume doesn't like being in the heat. Your costumes will break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole nother portion of this where it actually rode all the way up the arm to make it look like I had one solid arm. Because the whole deal with this is that there's a type of crab that when it proposes essentially to its mate, it will rip off its arm and give it to its mate. And I am divorced. And so this meant a whole lot to me because my girlfriend now rebuilt my arm.
Oh.
After I gave my arm. That's all.
Pretty much this, there's only 2 things I made on it. I made the shoulder holster harness, and I made the spats. I'll never do that. This wasn't actually all that hard. As easy as these things are, it was a lot harder. I built 2 sewing machines.
Talent.
Who knew you had to have leather needles? Finding a treadle, an old foot pump treadle, that actually helped out a ton. And then it was able to be stitched together. I had just leftover leather laying around, a couple of dog belts that I had no idea what I was going to do with, because I've only got one dog big enough to fit them. And so they became the straps to keep the spats up. Sewing the buttons on wasn't too hard. The buttonholes they're not reinforced. I thought about it, and then when I did it, I was like, nope, I'm just taking a box knife, cut the slits, push the buttons through, I'm doing it. I'm done.
Where's Opie?
Oh, I didn't build this. I had this commissioned. I had a friend of mine who was a part of our crew who passed away last year, and I commissioned this in her honor. And he built. She was always teasing me I didn't have enough steampunk in my outfit, so I had a steampunk Gatling gun pistol made based off the A10 because A10
first, man.
Yeah, because A10 and
This is the coolest plane ever, if you guys don't know. It's like, look it up. It is the literal coolest plane that the Air Force has. It rocks. It's just.
That's Spectre. If you want it dead, that's all you need.
No, Spectre, it's a gun mounted on a cargo plane. A10 is where it's at.
But yeah, the rest of this was just decoration. Gregor actually designed the badge, came up with it. We talked about it the very first Steampunk weekend we were out here, and he did it out of Bondo and bathroom latex. But I bought actual latex, and I bought 2-part resin, and learned how to mix that and pour it and clean up molds, and started making badges for all the Sky Marshals. So that we would have, Old West lawmen would have badges. And so we had to, it's got the Zeppelin for the air wings to incorporate the word Sky Marshals. The original idea was going to be Air Marshals. I thought, wait, no, the feds might have a problem with that. And then I thought about Aether Marshals, but that seemed to be...
Yeah, Sky Marshal has a ring too.
Yeah, Aether was probably that.
So does anybody have any particular questions about Steampunk, about any of the characters that you see up here? Yeah, one right there.
So are there clubs and groups, and how often do you do that stuff and get together, and what do you do?
There are more groups than ever. There are a lot of groups. I recommend Facebook if you're looking for groups.
Yep. Great Plains Steampunk is the biggest one for our region on Facebook. There's not a lot of per se organized events that Great Plains goes to, but there's lots of steampunk events that you can find and attend. Particularly here in Wichita, there's Emerald City Steampunk Expo in November. That one is a lot of fun.
My bread and butter on there every year.
If you get really into it, there's a con up in Wisconsin called TeslaCon.
It is amazing.
It is the #1 rated convention in America.
I heard that one sucked because I couldn't go.
Last weekend was Steampunk World Fair.
Yeah, that's on the East Coast.
That's in New Jersey.
Right.
There's the accordion ball in San Francisco.
But a lot of times, steampunk community comes down to finding a few local people, just kind of go and hang out with them if they do any sort of regular hangouts or meetings, or it really depends on the group itself. Our group, we don't do a lot of steampunk outings. We're more of a media production. So we do a lot of filmings and things, and if we do a filming somewhere, we're like, hey, we're going here, we're going to film if anybody wants to come. And there are still people that we meet in other cities, and they're like, oh yeah, it's so cool, steampunk. Where are you guys from? Columbia? No, we're from Columbia. How do we not know you? So it's like a really big community where nobody really knows each other.
Yeah.
But the internet kind of helps with that a little bit. I'm not sure about Wichita. We're from Missouri, so we kind of know that.
Wichita's actually got several airships. They've got.
I don't have an airship. My go steampunk.
Yeah. Actually, the children proteas are their own thing. I mean, it's. Go ahead, Dave.
Just to clarify, the term they're using, airship, that's in the steampunk realm, more what they're talking about with clubs. Local, smaller groups. You might have seen up here, carpenter shop has Airship Knox, selling their wares up there. We have Airship Vindus from Columbia. Sky Marshals is also an Airship Lexington. So that's their little clubs. And so,
and they're not always airships either. Sometimes people have land ships, or or subterranean vehicles, or submarines, or just hand delivery gang. It's just a gang of thieves, or a gang of steampunk thieves.
You'll notice that steampunk is
No, you have a
very
race.
story-driven.
You're an entire race.
Subculture, people come up with characters, people come up with stories,
ocean is your
and that's
club.
where a lot of people start. All of the airship groups, each of them have their own little characters and what their roles play on their airships or their vehicles. And so that's how a lot of people get into steampunk. They create their own characters, and that's where everything else grows from.
Yeah, and most people that meet my group, I'm sorry, not my group, that meet the Airship Vindus would look at me and go, oh, there's the leader guy, and I'm not the captain. The captain is not always the person that leads the group in particular. So, I mean, sometimes you'll hear people tell you, oh, and the captain needs to do this, and your first mate does this for your group, and this is how you build an airship. And really, that's not necessary. It's whatever you want the group to do, then you just sort of figure it out, and who's good at what. I happen to be good at organizing people and taking them places. So I just kind of become the de facto leader. Like everybody just, okay, let's go and do this. So it's just kind of the way it worked out. But you don't always need a captain if you want to start your own airship either.
This comes back to the ongoing theme that we keep talking about, that steampunk really is what you make of it. There's not a set of rules. You do what works for you, have some fun. Really, I mean, that's kind of, we're a media production group now, but our group literally started out as some people who went downtown, took some pictures, and wandered around looking weird.
And then went to Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
In costume.
No one starts out a pro. We all start out somewhere. It's like going to the gym, right? Those guys with huge, like the guy back there, you know, huge muscles drawing right now.
The guy shaking his head.
He was not, in fact, born with those muscles. He actually had. He might have. I'm not going to lie. Seth might have been born with those muscles.
Which, by the way, Seth is an awesome guy. He does amazing art, and he's doing the cover art for the Children of Proteus comic. So go and check out his stuff, because he'll be drawing Charlie and Kate's characters.
Absolutely. AFW, it will be for sale. We will be special guest stars at AFW, so make sure you, it's my pleasure.
Shameless plug.
For those who do not understand.
Yeah. Other questions? Anything that's on your mind regarding steampunk? Yeah.
What do you all do in real life?
What do we do in real life?
Good question.
Okay, well, let's start on the end. Yeah. What do you do in real life?
I used to work in a laundry room for 7 years until we got employed to festivals and conventions, and I discovered that I can make things and sell them. So now full time, we travel to conventions and festivals, and I sell jewelry and costume props and things. We have a booth in Turn Grind Hall out there, and that's what I do. I kind of do this. I run around in costume with my groups of friends, and we figured out how to make money doing it. So. Go on.
I work in a veterans hospital in Columbia, Missouri. I'm a medical technologist, so basically I work in the lab and I sit around playing with poop and blood and all that fun stuff.
I am formerly a journalist and media production specialist, currently doing a really boring office job for a small appliances company that's really just there to fund my hobbies.
I teach at the University of Missouri and I'm about to get a PhD in mechanical engineering.
Dr. Rex.
Dr. Rex.
Dr. Rex.
I'm starting out working at home, getting into craft.
I am an instructor at the University of Missouri for the Building Technology Lab, which is a fancy way to say wood shop. and so I do a lot of fabrication stuff, and then it's a part-time job, so my actual full-time job is also, I'm starting to get into the making thing, and I make leather journals and wooden cover journals, and I make leather maps and bags and just like anything that I feel like making.
So many titles. I'm a music educator, a stagehand. I'm studying music therapy, and I'm trying to get my band to keep steam on the ground. So, Lucas.
Charlie?
So I'm Air Force. I'm stationed here in McConnell. Hooray! So there's that. I do that most of the time. In fact, it takes up most of my life.
It's like a job or something.
It's like a real job.
Yeah.
I'm an adult for the most part. I'm an instructor for the Air Force. I teach Air Force how to do things because they can't tie their shoes without being instructor.
We have 4 teachers up here.
Yeah.
I didn't realize we have 4 teachers up here. Teacher fist bumps.
Yeah. Go teachers. So we don't get paid enough. Where's the 3 U's? But no. So in the meantime, I cosplay as a hobby, but I'm also in fact trying to make this a gig that I can take on the outside afterward. I'm trying to sell the comic book. We're going to try and get that comic book company up and running. I've also got a team of about 12 guys working on making video games right now, so I can have a video game company rocking and rolling here in the near future. And that's really my whole bag. I just want to have fun and creative.
And I actually have the latest one for you. I'm a stay-at-home dad.
That's not lame.
Okay, well, I do that, and because it's kind of a full-time job now, I run my group because...
You run a charity, Brian.
Well, okay, I run a charity group, and now that we're already booking for 2017, so it's something you're constantly having to do. I'll be typing an email to somebody and telling my son, no, don't put that in your mouth. And
Peanut butter does not go in there.
what are you doing to that dog? Why is he crying? And these are common themes to the house. But yeah, that's...
Other questions that you're interested in? It could be anything. Anything. Yeah.
Way back before I ever heard the phrase steampunk or fandom or anything, I used to watch a show called Briscoe County Junior that kind of turned me on to the time and space that it kind of deals with. And I was just wondering what TV shows, movies, books may have kind of started you down the path or got you thinking about it.
So the question was, what kind of movies or TV or other mainstream media kind of set you on the path of steampunk? And he had mentioned Briscoe County Junior as sort of his inspiration. If anybody remembers that show. So anybody want to jump in on that one?
The original Wild Wild West with Robert Conrad.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Billy?
Mine was Doctor Who, Marvel Universe, which is Doctor Strange. And I've also been really big into pretty much anything to do with alchemy, so Full Metal Alchemist is a really good one. Brotherhood, I should say, Brotherhood.
Greek mythology.
Yes.
Yeah. Bioshock and Fallout, even though Fallout's pretty fun.
For me, it was Hellboy and Hellboy 2 and Wild Wild West and a lot of the 90s and early 2000s stuff for me. I love the aesthetic.
I didn't know the name until Steve Tyler Draft, but I like Wild Wild West, Time Machine, Back to the Future Part 3.
Oh yeah, Back to the Future Part 3.
Classics.
I came across pictures of a guy called Datamancer who made case mods for computers that were steampunk, and that was my first exposure to steampunk. And then I was exposed to Ben and Kristen and their actually do like that movie, even if the plot is terrible. The production design is absolutely beautiful, and I love the costumes and
Giant spider.
the technology that's in it.
I like what it says.
Tai Chi Zero. If you want to see steampunk that is not set in a Western setting, which I've always been trying to push more of, because the rest of the planet existed during the 1800s, you know? So Tai Chi Zero came out of China a couple of years ago, and it is Chinese steampunk.
That one is pretty cool. I also like Warrior's Way. If anybody has seen Warrior's Way, it's like cowboys versus ninjas and steampunk. And it's fantastic. Warrior's Way.
So that's it. We'll be around if you guys have any more questions.
Thank you so much for coming to our Random Steampunk everything. Enjoy the rest of your day at Cowtown Steampunk Day in Pennsylvania. Come and see us on a video if you have more questions. And we'll be filming tomorrow from noon to 4. If you want to throw on a steampunk costume, come out and be an extra.
Okay, stop. Don't go to the next YouTube video or channel or skip or don't do anything. Real quick, 5 seconds. We have 3 different channels. Please subscribe to them. Username Nerd News, username Nerd Comics, username Nerd Games. We have separated them out into 3 ones. Choose all of them or just one to subscribe to. You'd love it. I promise you, we'll give you great content. It'll show up in your feed. You'll love it. Just real quick click. It doesn't take but a few seconds. You'd be awesome. Thank you.